I knew it was gonna leak. I just didn't think it was gonna be that much. What is going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. I'm Brandon. This is Extreme Daily Drivers. How you guys been? It's been a minute since our last video. I think the last new material I put up was in July. And here we are in December, man. It's December. And you've probably been wondering what the heck's been going on, why I have not been putting out any videos. Well, mostly because everything in my garage works. And I didn't really want to mess with anything because everything's been so damn good. But that changed this week. Yeah, a slight issue with the Commander. That's what today's video is all about. We're going to be replacing the radiator on the Commander. We're going to be doing it with a 3-core aluminum radiator from Alloy Works. I got it out of the box here. Check it out. I got this thing off Amazon. Link in the description. As always, 220 bucks shipped or something like that. I did a lot of shopping around with this. I looked at ordering it directly from Alloy Works. I looked at ordering it off eBay. Kind of the pricing was all the same no matter where I ordered it from. So got it from Amazon. It took about a week to get here. But this thing is pretty beefy. Check it out, man. It's pretty stout. It looks good. It came in a great box. You see the box here. It's not damaged at all or anything like that. This came wrapped really well, lots of styrofoam around it and all that jazz. So yeah, we got to go ahead and get this thing installed on the old Jeep. So I hope you guys have been well. I don't remember what I said in the intro, but I haven't done any car stuff in months. Part of that is because of summer here in Florida. It's ridiculous. Don't want to do anything in the heat if you can avoid it in the summer. And the other part is that nothing was actually broken. There's nothing wrong with any of my cars. You're probably saying, then why are you replacing the radiator on the Jeep? We'll get into that in a minute. But there wasn't really anything that was, you know, calling out to me to be fixed. So, of course, you guys know me. I've been stockpiling parts. I got all sorts of projects, you know, mostly for the Jeep to do. But I just have not had a lot of, you know, the wanting to go out and take my car apart. So I think a lot of that has been, I've been playing a lot of golf this summer. It's been really enjoying that. So it's kind of been my passion in the last couple months. But definitely lots more to do on the Jeep besides replace a radiator. So if you guys are into this kind of thing, you guys are fans of the channel, stick around. We're gonna have more videos to come here in the next couple weeks. So I just got finished pulling off the caps on the headlights and all the push pins that hold the grill on. And now, if I remember correctly, right, this guy comes right off. So we'll put him over here with our collection of car parts. And now we're kind of looking at the main kind of cooling unit here, right? So the first thing we got here, this is for the power steering. So this is a cooler for the power steering so it doesn't get too hot. Then we have our air conditioning condenser. And then we have our radiator back here. So future video coming, actually maybe the next video, is going to be adding a transmission cooler to the Commander. So that is going to go, you know, probably in between here. So if you guys are interested in that, stay tuned, probably the next video. But for now, let's worry about replacing our radiator, okay? So I'm going to pull the bumper off. You don't have to pull the bumper off. I think it's going to make it easier. And I also think it's going to reveal a lot of bolts and stuff like that. That'll be easier for the video for you guys to follow along. My bumper is basically held on with a whole bunch of zip ties. So super easy to remove and reinstall. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this guy off. I think that'll reveal a whole bunch of stuff for us to make this installation a little bit more clear. All right, bumper is off. Now I'm going to remove these and these, then these, and then these. And that'll pull the cross member off. A couple years ago, I did a video on installing Raptor lights on your Jeep Commander. And when I installed these, a lot of people in the comments were like, dude, those aren't going to stick. They're going to fall off. Well, look. They didn't fall off. It's good 3M tape. This one's a little loose. But yeah, man, they didn't fall off. They've actually been disconnected for about a year because I just got over them and preferred the look without them on. But yeah, for those who watched that video back in the day and thought these things would fall off because of heat or something, no, man, they're on there like glue. All right, things are going pretty well here. I believe this just comes off. Yes? Yep. Okay. So I'm going to keep disassembling. I'm going to start with this guy, shroud. And if you look down here, it's really hard to show you guys, but they're going to be 4 bolts. There's one here that shares the AC dryer. So this side's a little easier to see. See that guy there? And then, I don't know how well you can see it down there in that little hole. But there's one down there too. It looks like they're 10 millimeter. All right, so we've hit a snag. Trying to remove this. Got all the bolts out, real easy to do. But I'm pretty sure this upper hose has to come off first. There's a big plastic kind of tab that sticks out. There's no way to maneuver it around it, so that means we have to go ahead and drain the radiator. So let's get under here. So I'm gonna go ahead and give that thing a twist, and it's gonna start pouring out. Check out the mess I got going on because of this bracket here from my front skid plate. Oh my goodness, what a mess. So while that's draining out, let me tell you why we're actually replacing this. So about a week ago, I was playing golf and I actually drove by my house in the golf cart because I forgot something at the house. So came by, grabbed what I needed, and when I was backing out of the driveway, I noticed there was a little stain underneath the vehicle. You guys can probably tell so far, if you haven't been following this channel, how clean my car is. So if there's a stain, that's new, and that's something not good. Something's leaking somewhere. So immediately got the flashlight out, did some reconnaissance. It was very difficult to see. I actually don't know exactly where the crack is, but there's a hairline crack in the radiator. And I'm so happy I found that in my driveway and not on the side of the road when my thermostat was on H. You commander guys know what I'm talking about, right? Because that's a sign that you're about to drop a valve and your engine's trashed. But great news is it's a hairline crack. I was able to figure it out at my house, not on the side of the road. And when I traced the drip, you could see it here on the skid plate. You can see how it was running down here and then making its way to the ground. So it's another important note to keep your car clean. That way, if something is leaking, you'll notice it right away. All right, that took forever. 20 minutes later, we're ready to remove this upper hose. If you guys seen my plier video, I bet you have, because it's got like 60,000 views or something like that. But these things are so rad. Look at that, huh? Look at that. Just slide it off. Easy as pie. Link in the description. So about a year after I bought the Commander, I drained the radiator fluid. Just did a little drain and fill, and at the same time I replaced the upper and lower radiator hoses. I also replaced the thermostat at that time just because I had no idea how old it was. If you have not done that before and you're replacing your radiator, now's the time to do these things. So replace your upper and lower radiator hoses and your thermostat if you haven't already done it.
2 hours later.
We got it out, man. But I'll tell you what, it's as much of a pain in the butt as people say it is online. Really difficult to remove. The only way I was able to remove that is by completely loosening up the radiator and the condenser bolts. Like basically remove everything. It'll give you enough wiggle room to wiggle everything that you need, starting with that fan shroud. And now the radiator, I'm guessing, is gonna come out pretty easily. There's tons of room here now, and should be able to pull this guy out, install a new one. But if you guys have the 4.7, do yourself a favor. Remove the fan. Just remove the fan and the clutch, man. It'll make it so much easier. There's gonna be so much more room. Totally should have done that. I've never done it before. I do have the tools to do it, but yeah, I thought it might be more of a hassle, so I left it on. But if I had to do it over again, I would definitely remove that fan. All right, so I knew that this was not gonna be an easy job, but man, what a pain in the butt. I feel like they literally built the entire Jeep around the radiator. They were like, all right, let's install the radiator. Okay, we can put the engine in now. You know, I mean, it's just silly how hard it was to do. So let me show you the biggest culprit when removing one of these radiators. It's this here, that plastic tab on both sides. They totally get in the way. They catch everything. All right, say a prayer for me. I'm going to attempt to reinstall this. I wonder, you know, I was thinking, I wonder if I should slide the shroud in, because I got all the room in the world now to get that shroud in there, right? And like install the shroud like close up onto the fan and then try to drop the radiator in. For the guys who have done this before, let me know down in the comments how you've tackled it, because I didn't go into this totally blind. I watched a couple videos. That's usually enough for me. And you know, it's removing something and installing a new thing. It's usually pretty simple, but this is proven to be really complicated. So if you've done it before, let me know down in the comments how you did it. Let me get the new one installed. All right, don't forget, before you install the new radiator, transfer over these grommets here on the sides from the old radiator, as well as the little feet. All right, guys, you can see it's dark outside. Radiator is back in. I needed actually a second hand in order to get this done. There was too much juggling of power steering cooler as well as the air conditioning condenser, and then trying to get the radiator in. It was like 3 things moving around. They all need to move around. You basically need as much wiggle room as possible to reinstall the radiator. And to my surprise, the shroud actually fit on or dropped in relatively easily. You can see the shroud doesn't fit 1000% perfect. It is, you know, bolted on, not all the way. I mean, it's on there is about as good as I think you can get it on there. Everything doesn't line up perfect is what I'm trying to tell you. So I can live with a little gap right there. It's not the end of the world when everything's put back on here. Heck, I forget what it looked like in the beginning. Maybe there's supposed to be a gap there. I can't remember right now, but we got it bolted on, but we're a long way from finished here. Still got to do lower radiator hose. Got to reinstall that. We have to reinstall the upper radiator hose. There is a sensor down below, kind of right in this area, right in there, that I had to disconnect. I'm not exactly sure what it's for, but it was in the way when I was disassembling it, so it's currently still disconnected. So I got to reconnect that. And yeah, put bumpers on, skid plates, all that kind of good stuff. And then we get this thing filled up with radiator fluid. Hopefully it doesn't leak. And get the air out. I should mention this is the antifreeze that we'll be using. When it comes to Jeeps, man, it's either this or the stuff from Mopar. Do not get creative when it comes to antifreeze in your Jeep. I'll put a link to both down in the description from Amazon. This is a little bit hard to find, so Amazon might be the way to go. I went to a couple places and I found it in one auto parts store. Walmart didn't carry it, and I went to Advanced Auto. They didn't have it either. So link down in the description. All right, guys, I'm still here. And we're getting close to turning the car on. So let me show you the setup I have going on here. This thing is a must-have, dude. If you don't have one of these, you need to buy one. I'll put a link down in the description. But if you're ever changing the radiator on any vehicle whatsoever, you need to get one of these kind of universal funnels. If you see that little red adapter down there, that screws onto the radiator cap, and then the funnel fits in, creates a real tight seal. If you look in there, you'll see, it's hard to see, but there's coolant in there. That's going to stay like that. I'm going to turn the car on. It's going to stay like this. This coolant will start bubbling probably initially, and then as the car warms up, it'll get sucked through. And you just keep adding more and more coolant so that you don't get any air in the system. So speaking of air in the system, here I've removed the hex bolt that goes there and have a funnel in there, and I've been slowly filling this with coolant. It's just another way to kind of get it into the system. And what I'm going to do now is I've got a good amount in there. I'm going to take this and I'm going to reinstall this, but lightly. I'm going to now go ahead, start the car up, and I'm going to do one last check before I actually do that. But yeah, start the car up and bleed the system. I'm sorry the car is so loud, but everything's good. Check it out. So still nothing happening there. Still loads of coolant in there. This is just starting to warm up. I'm going to turn the heat on. We want the thermostat to open. And once the thermostat opens, this is really going to get sucked down. It takes some time. So while I was checking everything, the stupid thermostat opened up and sucked all the coolant out of my little funnel and some air into the system. Super annoying. So kind of almost have to start over again. Fill it all up with coolant. Now it's, you know, slowly sucking it in. It's been steady for a while now. The gauge is where it needs to be inside. And now let me show you what we're doing with this guy here. So this is the highest point. That's why this is here. It's the highest point of the whole system. So do you see those little bubbles? You see the little bubbles? That's air coming out. All right. So that's why it's the bleed screw. So I don't want to take this totally off because I did earlier and coolant went flying all over the place. But I know there's air in the system and I'm slowly bleeding it out by unscrewing this, screwing it back on, that sort of thing. You see, still got plenty of coolant in there. See some bubbles coming up? So we're gonna keep going. This is nice and warm right here now. I know the coolant's hot. So we'll just keep letting the air out. All right, guys, we did it. We did it, we're all set. I went ahead and after I got a kind of steady, like the air bubble stopped and liquid started to come out of here, I then knew all the air was out. I tightened that down, kept an eye on this, and every now and then there'd be a little bubble. That's good too, all the air is coming out. The heat inside was full blast, super hot, and thermostat didn't move. So it was nice and steady. So we're in good shape, man. The rad thing about these, once again, is that you grab the stopper, you stick it in here, and now, look at that. You can pull the whole thing off. It doesn't really leak. Isn't that rad? So I'm gonna put this in my overflow because it's a little low, and pretty much finished. Radiator swapped. Woo! What a job. What's going, guys? It's a couple days later, and after a couple test drives, I'm happy to report that we have no leaks. Everything's good. Successful radiator swap out. Before I leave you guys, I want to show you something else I swapped during this installation. So if you look down here, this is the Jeep Limited, and I think on many Jeep Commanders there is some additional radiator hoses that make their way to the rear of the vehicle, and those hoses tend to leak coming off the heater core over here against the firewall. And I decided to swap out those hoses completely with hoses that are for Commanders that don't have the rear heating and cooling, if that makes sense. So I got some new ones installed in there and totally deleted the stuff going to the rear of the vehicle. Yeah, basically the simpler it is, the better it is. And since no one ever sits in the back of my truck, I don't need to worry about heating and cooling in the rear of the vehicle. And it simplifies things, and I just basically omitted something that, if you have a Jeep Commander, you know those things leak right there on the firewall, and they're a pain in the butt to change. So I used this time when the radiator was out and the system was drained to go ahead and swap those out. So anyway, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. It's good to be back in the garage. It's good to be back in here with you guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.